Hello children. So yesterday's class we have studied about fertilization, double fertilization, and we have studied the further changes which are taking place, how the endosperm development and embryo development take place, and how fruits and seeds are formed, which are what are called as the false fruit and what are called as the true fruits. And that all we have done. We have also studied about the parthenogenesis. Okay, today we are going to finish the chapter. Little bit is left. Let us see what all things are left, and then we will try to finish them up. Okay. Okay, in continuation from the yesterday's class, now we shall study that is the seed is the basis of our agriculture. We know that is whenever a farmer want to grow something in the field, what he is growing actually is bringing the seed, is cultivating the that is seed in the field. So without seed, we can't even imagine agriculture. So for according to us, that is the without seed the agriculture is not possible. So we say that the seed is the basis of any agriculture. Okay. uh, Dehydration and dormancy of the mature seed are crucial for storage. We know that the seed which we bring from the market are dried, and if they are not dried, now they cannot be stored. They will get some type of fungal infection. They will get some type of insectal infection, etc., etc. So that is necessary that the seed should be dehydrated, and for the ideal storage, the moisture content should be somewhere about 10 to 12%. Okay, can you imagine agriculture in absence of seed? Practically, it is possible. We can't say that their agriculture is not possible, but then vegetative propagation are the method. Vegetative propagation, as you know, are very time consuming, very labor intensive process, and uh, that takes very long. Okay, so the seeds are better. Like you just simply take your tractor and put the plow, and on that only you put the seeds, and once when you're doing the plowing, along with the plowing only, the seed will be sown, and then it will be easy for the rest of the activities. Okay. How long do the seed remain active or alive after dispersal? So this is the common question. That is, the seed once produced in the plant and they are dehydrated, how long can be they can remain functional? Okay. So in some of the some of the plants which are continuous plant, those plants, the seeds remain viable only the dormant only for a short duration. Soon after the formation of the seed, also they can germinate or they can remain dormant only for a year or so or a few months or so. Okay, but most of the other plants, which are perennial plants, which are seasonal plants, uh, seasonal or perennial plants, for them the seed remain functional for several years. There are some of the examples given here. That is the Arctic tundra. In the excavation, we have found some of the seeds of Lupinus arcticus. This is found germinating even after 10,000 years. 10,000 साल पुराने सीड हमको मिले, एंड 10,000 साल बाद भी हमने इनको बोए, तो these seeds were found to be that is having a capacity of germination. So dormancy can remain even up to 10,000 years in these plants. Then a recent record of about 2,000 years the old viable seeds for formed date palm K, that is date palm, this biological name is Phoenix dictyrifera. This was found in the King Herod's palace, which was excavated somewhere in the Dead Sea. So this also gives some of the idea that is how long the seed can survive during dormancy. Okay, after completing a brief account of the sexual reproduction of the flowering plant, it would be worth attempting to comprehend our enormous reproductive capacity of the floral plant. तो हम ये जानना चाहेंगे कि floral plant में कितनी capacity होती है for reproduction. That is how many flowers they produce, how many ovaries are there in each flower, then how many ovules are there in each ovary, and how many क्या कहते हैं, embryos can be there in each ovule. So these are the things which we want to know. So it is that how many eggs are produced in every embryo sac, generally one egg. Okay, how many embryo sacs are present in one ovule, generally one. How many ovules are present in an ovary? So in one ovary there can be one or many ovules. Okay, as in case of coconut, as in case of mango, you find only one ovule. As in case of wheat, you will find one ovule in or one ovary. Whereas there are number of plants in which many ovules are there, like in case of papaya, in case of watermelon, in case of mashmelon, it can be poppy, it can be orchids and all, where one ovary can contain thousands of eggs or hundreds of eggs. Okay, so that many ovules and that many seeds will be formed. How many ovules are present in ovary? How many ovaries are there in a typical flower? So ovary can be single apocarpus or the separate one, or they can be combined together. That is syncarpous ovary. So polyembryonic के केस के अंदर poly क्या कहते हैं, when the ovaries are many, तो उस केस के अंदर हमको ये वाली कंडीशन मिलेगी. How many flowers are present in a tree? So you can generally see how many plants, how many flowers are there. Sometimes the flowers are so many, and sometimes so many flowers come together to form one inflorescence. Okay, like a tree like neem, you see how many fruits they produce. So in a season, if you go, you'll find number of seeds, around several hundreds or rather thousands of seeds under the plant. Okay, now can you think some of the plants in which the fruits contain very large number of seeds? Poppy is there, and in case of ficus is there, or in case of watermelon are there, many seeds are there. Now orchids is one such fruit in which thousands of tiny seeds are present, tiny ones. Okay, similar is the case of ficus. ठीक है, और यहाँ पे दे रखा ओरोबांकी एंड स्टिंगा, ये parasitic plant and they also produce large number of seeds. Now have you seen the seeds of the ficus, that is burger banyan tree का कितना छोटा होता है, how large the tree is, how small the tiny seed is. ठीक है, how many billions of seeds each ficus tree produce? What is the need? Do we really get that many plants? No. So most of the plants they are not able to survive. Yes, few will be able to survive. Okay. Now that is these all things are just for your thing to क्या कहते हैं, comprehend or to develop your interest in study. Okay, the last topic is apomixis and polyembryony. Apomixis क्या? Apomixis, we know generally sexual reproduction is the case in which the pollen from either the same plant or from different plant falls onto the stigma and it fertilizes the egg. Then the seed is formed, embryo is formed. Okay, but sometime what happens? Sometime what happens that in the plants of commonly in Astracean grasses, that the two end cell of the nucellus which is surrounding the ovisac, or the two and egg, that is when the egg is formed, that the division is meiotic division is not equal division. Entire set of the chromosome goes into one of the cell and the other cell remain empty. So in that case, the one of the egg will get two n set of the chromosome, other will not get any. So when the two n egg is there, or two n cells of the nucellus are there, or sometimes the polar nuclei, both the nuclei fuse together and they become diploid. So any of the two n cell from the parent enter into the ovisac, they will be able to develop into an embryo. And since it has contained all the chromosome sets exactly from the mother plant, so it will not show any variation, rather it will be exact similar replica or clone of the mother plant. Okay, so this is actually forming a seed, but seed formation of seed is actually a representation of sexual reproduction. But since it is not involving the fusion of the gametes, both the set of the chromosomes are actually coming from one parent, so that is why we'll be calling it as a asexual reproduction. So in fact, apomixis is asexual reproduction that mimics sexual reproduction. Okay, so asexual reproduction that mimics sexual reproduction is the definition for it. ठीक है, और कैसे कैसे होंगे ये हमने बताया. Very often in case of citrus and mango, in case के अंदर क्या देख रहे हैं, varieties, the nucellar cells surrounding the embryo sac start dividing and protruding into the embryo sac. ठीक है, and in such case not one but more than one cells can go into the embryo sac, and in that case each diploid cell which entered into the embryo sac will be able to develop into an embryo. So such a case will have number of embryo in case of one single seed. So that is again a new case that we have not studied so far. This is called polyembryony. So they are the various cases, apomixis and polyembryony examples हमने पढ़ा जिसमें Asteraceae and grasses में it is common. In case of mango and citrus also it is there. Mango and citrus में polyembryony is common, and what is actually meant by the apomixis and all. Now, do apomixis of any advantage to us, or it is disadvantage? So definitely it is disadvantage because it is not having variation, but we can consider it as an advantage also. Suppose I got a plant which is containing all the good character and I want its replica, its copy, its clones in my field. Suppose I got a mango tree which gives very sweet fruits and the big size mangoes, then I will always tend to develop such type of plant. So if I can get the seed from apomixis, then the all the trees which I obtain from that plant will be exact replica of that plant, not in shape. Branching अलग अलग हो सकती है, ठीक है? That will be depending on many other factors, but the taste of the fruit will be exactly similar to that of the parent plant. So it has an advantage in case of hybridization experiments when the scientists are developing hybrids. So when they develop hybrid, they have to carry out number of experiments. First, they have to choose the right type of parents. Then they have to cross them with the same all those activities which we have already studied. That is the bagging, pollen transfer, removal of bag, pollen transfer, again bagging and tagging and all. And then they have to grow them and see that whether they got the good character or not. Those who have not got good character, they will be discarded. Those which have got good character but something is lacking, they will be kept, and then they will be again hybridized. So almost 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 10 hybridization crosses, etc. are done. Then they get all the desired character containing plant. And one single plant which I develop after so much of experiments and so much of effort, and if that plant is allowed to grow in the field and the pollination is done, say whether it is self-pollination or whether it is a cross-pollination, it will definitely become different from the original plant. So how will we get seed for the next generation? So the best way to get the seed for next generation is apomixis. So if we have an ability to develop apomixis, the seed from the apomixis, then they will have all the desired character of the parent plant. So that is an advantage of this practice. Okay, so with this we come to the end of the chapter. Examples on all you see. Let us discuss about the questions. Question number 1. Name the part of the angiosperm flower in which the development of male and female gametophyte take place. Male gametophyte in anther, female gametophyte in the pistil. Okay, or in to be precise, if you say that is in the ovaries of the pistil. Differentiate between microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis. Microsporogenesis takes place in anther, megasporogenesis takes place in ovary. Microsporogenesis, large number of pollen grains are produced. Megasporogenesis, one ovary produces either one, two, or few ovules only. Third, the microsporogenesis, the 4 cells which are formed by the meiosis, that is the microspore tetrad, all 4 of them will be able to make pollen grain, whereas in megasporogenesis, the 4 cells which are formed by the meiosis, megasporogenesis, 3 of them degenerate on further development take place from one single megaspore. Okay, and that is why it is called megasporo, sorry, monosporic development. Then we have studied that the pollen grain which is formed that has 2 unequal cells, whereas in the megaspore which are formed, they will have all equal division. Megaspore, in case of microspores, there will be only one mitotic division resulting 2 cells, one vegetative and one generative. And the second mitotic division takes place only in the generative cell, not in the vegetative cell. Okay? Whereas in megasporogenesis, we see there are 3 mitotic division take place in sequence, one after another, and each cell will result in the doubling of their nucleus. So first will produce 2 nuclei, then second will produce 4 nuclei, and third will produce 8 nuclei. All are equal size, and then they will form different cells, and that will be we'll be finding that mature female gametophyte which will have 7 new cell but 8 nuclei state. Okay. Arrange the following terms in the correct developmental sequence. Sporogenous tissue is the first one, then tetrad, second one, then sorry, sporogenous tissue first, pollen mother sac second, tetrad third, pollen grain four, male gamete five. Okay, diagram you practice. Question number 5. What is meant by monosporic development? We are just now we have studied that is in the megaspore mother cell, the meiosis take place, two meiotic division, result of four cells, four megaspores. Out of the four megaspores, three degenerate, and further development will take place from one single megaspore. The development from one single megaspore into a female gametophyte is called monosporic development. Question number 6. What is draw a neat diagram of seven-celled, eight-nucleate nature of the female gametophyte? So we'll have to draw a diagram in which the ovice contain three antipodal cells and two synergid, one egg cell, and one polar nuclei with two nuclei. Okay. Question number 7. What are chesmogamous flower? Chesmogamous flower, just like any ordinary flower, which is open where the anther and the stigma are exposed. So they can have self-pollination, they can have dichomogamy, they can have cross-pollination. Is cross-pollination occur in chesmogamous flower, clistogamous flower? Definitely not. Why? Clistogamous flower never opens only. So they are not, they do not have any ability like pollen to enter or fertilize it. Okay. Uh, Reasons from the region area. Question number 8. Mention two strategies evolved to prevent self-pollination in flower. There are four strategies altogether. First, the different type of maturation, that is non-synchrony. Second, different location of the anther and stigma, that is morphological development. Third, that is the what you call non-compatibility. So in which the cell that are pollen from the same plant will not be able to fertilize it, and it will always require fertilization from the foreign pollen grain of the same species. And the fourth one is unisexual flower. Question number 9. What is self-incompatibility? Self-incompatibility is an ability of the plant to prevent self-pollination. That is, the if the pollen from the same plant falls onto the stigma, there will be some chemical changes taking place which will not let that pollen to germinate. Even if germinate, it will not let the pollen tube formation. Even if the pollen tube formation take place, it will not let it to enter into the micropyle and fertilize it. Okay, question number 10. What is bagging technique? In the artificial hybridization practices, we require bagging technique. So first we have to select the plant as the male and female plant. Then the female plant we have to slightly open. We have to remove the male reproductive part. And when the male reproductive parts are removed, this is called emasculation. After that, we have to cover it with a bag of butter paper with minute holes in that, so that no foreign body can enter and pollinate it. Once we find that the flower is mature, we have to remove the bag and we have to take the proper pollen from the desired plant and transfer it, and again we'll have to rebag it. Okay, so bagging is actually preventing the undesirable pollen transfer and fertilization. Okay. Question number 11. What is meant by triple fusion? Fusion of the three haploid nuclei, two of the polar nuclei with one of the male cell. Okay. Where does it happen? So it happens in the embryo sac. और कब होगा ये? This is one of the event of the double fertilization. Double fertilization में two event है. First is syngamy and second is triple fusion. Name the nuclei involved in the triple fusion. तो polar nuclei involved हैं और बनते कौन से? Primary endospermic nucleus. Question number 12. Why do you think that zygote is dormant for some time after fertilization? So after fertilization, will the zygote remain dormant? Zygote remain dormant. Okay. This question is different. Okay, zygote remain dormant in order to ensure that the endosperm development starts and it produces enough of food, stored food. Okay, so that when the zygote start dividing, so it gets assured supply of food. Question number 13. Differentiate between hypocotyle and epicotyle. In a seed, the embryonal axis is there, in which the part which is above the seed coat is called epicotyle, and the one which is that is cotyledon, and the one which is below it is called hypocotyle. Hypocotyle will develop into radicle, and that will grow into a seed, and epicotyle will develop into shoot. Coleoptile and coleorhiza. Coleoptile and coleorhiza are the structures which are found in the monopod plant. Coleoptile is actually found on the sheath which is covering the क्या कहते हैं plumule, and coleorrhea is covering the root. Integument and testa. Integuments are those parts which are covering the ovule, and on maturation, when the seed is formed, the same integument actually is changed into testa or modified into testa. Perisperm and pericarp. Perisperm. Sperm is seed. Peri means surround. That is the structure which is surrounding the seed. This is in some of the plant where the nucellus continues, nucellus remains. So that nucellus will form perisperm. Whereas pericarp is the fruit, the outermost layer of the fruit, which is actually formed by the ovary. Okay. What? Why is apple called false fruit? Because apple is not developed from the ovary, but it is developed from the thalamus. Which part of the flower forms fruit? So fruit in general is formed from the ovary, but in case of apple, it is formed from the receptacle. What is meant by emasculation? So removal of the male reproductive part, that is the anther, much before it becomes mature. In the artificial hybridization, where we select certain plant as a female and certain plant as a male and desire cross bond to conduct. Okay. Question number 16. If one can induce parthenocopy through application of growth substances, which fruit would you have been selected to induce? So this depends from person to person. I like mango. I would have thought that I will do the I will produce mango without seed. Some may produce watermelon, marshmallow. Some may produce brinjal. Some may produce guava. Some may produce papaya. It depends from person to person. So that you word that is so important. So everyone's answer will be correct answer in that case. Question number 17. Explain the role of taptum. So taptum is actually meant for providing nourishment to the growing pollen grain. And the last one is, what is apomixis? Apomixis is a practice in which two end cell of the क्या कहते हैं, of the ovary, any part of the ovary, may be nucellus, may be diploid pollen nuclei, or it may be diploid egg or any other part. When enter into the ovisac, it will start developing as an embryo without fertilization, and it will be having its property exactly similar to that of the parent plant. So with that, we come to the end of the chapter, children, and in the next class, we'll start next chapter. Thank you, and I must take test. एक टेस्ट तो बनता है, तो फर्स्ट चैप्टर का मैं टेस्ट लूंगा आपका somewhere in the next week. Okay, so keep reading and prepare yourself for the test. Thank you. Good day.